Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. We're back for Volume 4 of the Every Game Ever podcast. My name's SF. I'm here with the Scrivener, as always.
Hey!
As we continue your efforts to play every video game in existence.
I'm doing it.
You're doing it. So we're going to start today with Super Punch-Out 1994 7.891 for the SNES because it has Super in the name. So you're a Punch-Out fan, I believe.
In general? This one, I'm a big fan of. This is a cool game.
The only thing I have knowledge of with this game, because I didn't play a lot of Nintendo stuff, was the animations were really cool. Like, they all had a really good, really striking, cartoony look.
Yeah. The aesthetic was super
The characters
cartoony.
were always individual in Punch-Out, but it was the jump to SNES just gave it more fidelity, so they could do a lot of, like, little things to give them character.
Yeah.
But that's all I remember.
Yeah. And it was, seeing the NES, the first version, or the original from this IP, had, like, a bunch of repeat fights. It would be same guy. Like, they wouldn't even, like, palette swap and say it's something else. They would just literally be like, oh, you're fighting this guy. Whereas this game had 16 distinct fighters.
Sure.
And it scaffolded super well. Each fighter had a little bit more difficulty than the one before, and in general. And it's just a well put together, fun game. And as an anecdote to this very silly game, and by the way, it's a little bit racist, but that's
Sure.
what are we going to do? So, okay. This game was so hard to rent. There was one
Sure.
copy at this
You mean
damn
like back
video
in the day,
store.
right? Like
Do what now?
back in the day? Like, when it came out initially?
Well, what do you think I'm renting it now?
I don't know.
Yes, back then.
Yeah, I'm just clarifying for...
They had a list. They had this list, and they were like,
Sure.
we'll call you when it comes in. It took me
Yeah.
months to get this game in my home.
Wow.
Months. And I was seeing all the characters in magazines, and I'd be like, damn it, why won't they call? Donkey Kong Country was the same way. Same video store. Took forever to
That's
get
fair.
all of them.
Donkey Kong Country's great, so
Yeah.
that's fair. The equivalent for me for that was Sonic Heroes for the PS2.
I'm sorry.
That game came out and just was not around at my Blockbuster, even though my name was on the list saying when this comes out and call me.
Yeah.
Just could not get it for like a month or something. It was killing me.
The presence
I
of
got
magical
it.
time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird when you think about it. Now,
Play
when
shit
you can
whenever you want.
Yeah, just get any game at any time, right at your fingertips, whatever. It's just...
Every game
That's
ever
it.
as a project would be much more difficult
I know.
back then than now.
Back in the day, I'd sit with a thumb up my ass waiting on fucking Sonic Heroes for the PS2. Of all fucking video games, Jesus Christ.
Oh, me.
Anyway, when we get to that, that'll be a fun discussion. Anyway, next, anything else you want to say about Super Punch-Out?
No,
Or-
I'm good. Just racist punching.
Awesome.
Fun.
Quarterback attack from
Quarterback
1985. 3.250. Was this SNES as well? Or
No,
was
this was an FMV game, so it was
Oh, God,
one gen
okay.
later. It's like,
Sure.
I think I played it on Saturn, I think?
Hmm.
But it was on, I think it was one of those like 3DO style games.
Yeah, you can say FMV and people know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was all FMVs. It
This
was
is your night traps and your sewer sharks and whatnot.
yeah.
all that
I
stuff.
think this was better than Night Trap, but it had less novelty too. It had, so the gameplay was you were in first person and you called a play or something, and then there would be a video, and you would press a button, and then it would show you what happened, and that's pretty much it.
Sure, that's interesting.
Yeah, it would have. It's a cool idea, but obviously they could only hold like
Yeah,
I
there's a
don't
certain
know,
amount of
8 movies
information
on the
that you
disc.
can have in that situation. Yeah,
it's the same shit over and over.
jeez,
Not very good.
not very good. Okay, next, that's an interesting one. We have Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines from 2004, 8.063. This was a PC game. I remember playing this. Yeah, this game's super cool. I remember it
Yeah, it's
quite fondly.
this
A
game
lot
is
of people
still
remember
cool.
it quite fondly. It's really different. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to. You need a fan patch now, but it's on Steam for cheap. Like this
Oh,
is
yeah,
the
get it
epitome
dirt
of
cheap.
hidden gem. People who are into gaming, it's only a little bit dated. Like it's not much more dated than Fallout and 3 in New Vegas. Like it's got the same kind of like
it's same sort of idea.
doll
Yeah.
face people with lots of dialogue options.
Yeah, and you zoom in close to their face to talk to them and all that stuff.
Yeah, but it's a really cool game. It's really cool. It's really funny. It's really dark. It didn't get higher because of mostly technical factors. It's not.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's a game that'll crash on you.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
They will.
And I think Half-Life 2's now famous Source engine. I think this was the first released game that used the Source engine.
It could have been. I don't actually know, to be honest.
We'll double check that, but I think that's true.
It definitely has that look about it.
Yeah, I'm almost positive because I think it predates the release of Half-Life 2, but used the same engine. Sure. And I think Troika Games did it, and they're gone or bought out. I don't know who got them. Point being,
they'll be somewhere.
It's hard to get anything sequel related to this game. It just had a lot of bad luck. But it's still good. This was the
last in the Vampire the Masquerade line. Like, this was the last one. There's like 2 other games before it, and I think, and this was the last one that got released.
They're not on the level of this one.
No, they're not, because they're like isometric stuff. It's weird.
Yeah, this should have been a major game.
Yeah, that was the point I was going to make, was that it came out and it wasn't wasn't well received. It's just no one played it. Yeah. It's only taken until a few years later when everybody went, actually, this game has some really cool and interesting ideas. Especially around like the character customization stuff, where you're like choosing what kind of vampire, like what vampire family you belong to, and that affects how you would talk in conversations and how you'd act and how you'd play the game, and
it's really
so
unique.
Like, there's a lot of stuff that can go weird in that game.
New Game Plus is such a like shat on art in games. Like New Game Plus typically means start over, but keep all your shit.
Yeah.
Like,
keep all your skills,
this is a
keep all
game
your
with
levels.
Real replayability. You could pick a different vampire class. You can be a Nosferatu in this game, which is like the hideously ugly ones.
Yep.
And you have to play the whole game in stealth, because you can't let the public see you. You have to go in and out of sewers and stuff like that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And you can play like the weird, it's not schizophrenic, but like I can't remember the name of the vampire family, but they have like voices in their head.
Yeah.
And like the dialogue, you'll have like normal dialogue options, and then you'll have this one at the bottom that's like the font's all different and it's like misaligned and written in weird text, but that's essentially you like letting the voice take over and say whatever it wants. Amazing. And it's a really clever,
who made this game,
a lot of clever system. Yeah,
they deserve so much praise, because this is a very difficult game to make, and its lack of success does not reflect how much great work they did.
It is one of the definitive like cult classic games. Like, the people that have played this know that it's good, but not a lot of people exist that have played it. It's a gem from the past. Moving on, talk about Jaws from 1987.
Piece of shit.
From something that 1.313. Very much not a cult classic. What was this, NES or?
Yeah, it was NES.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. There was a boat at one point.
I hope so. It's a Jaws game.
I was dodging shit underwater, but the shark would appear, but I wasn't sure when. This is it was really, really bad. I think it was an LJN, and they make turds. Like, it's just horrible games. So at the time, this was the worst game I think I played for every game ever.
I would believe it.
Yeah,
probably pretty bad. Next, Top Gear, 1992.
I like Top Gear.
4.938. What was this? This SNES, NES?
It was an SNES game. It was split screen, even in one player, which is odd.
What a weird decision. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. But one thing about racing games is all racing games, to succeed, they need some sort of identity. You can't just have shit racing around. And this was like a world tour thing. So you would start in the US, race in 4 cities, go to a next thing. And for an SNES game, sort of a race around the world, what's the next level / country? That's something. And so it was an adequate game, and I enjoyed it, but it was still very bare bones as far as, you bump into the car in front of you and it slows you down, like all that old racing game crap.
Yeah.
And
this is incredibly bare bones.
No destruction physics, none of the visceral stuff that makes for...
I'm sure they didn't even know what the word destruction physics meant in 1982. That's
This game had a lot of sequels, is the funny thing.
I'm sure, yeah.
Like, it's really weird.
Well, Top Gear is like an institution in Britain and stuff. So
yeah.
It's a big deal. So next, Dragon Age Inquisition from 2014.
You and I both played this one roughly almost simultaneously.
8.188. This was, we met each other at this point. I think we were both playing this on release at the same time.
Yeah.
I really liked this game, despite it being repetitive. Like, the things that let this game down are, like, the design decisions of just, like, they make a bunch of the side stuff just fetch quests, and, like, it's great for if you just want to kick back and just chill and do stuff, that's fantastic. But if you're like, when you compare Inquisition to something like Dragon Age Origins, that was like Baldur's Gate level of isometric RPG of there's always something to do and it's always story related and blah blah, but Inquisition is literally just go close the rifts, go pick up this thing, go pick up 6 of this thing. Like, it's not any, there's no connection to the world.
They fell into the trend trap.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't make They made a game, they started making their own game, and then they decided to make somebody else's.
Yeah, exactly. But that being said, the characters are fantastic, the writing is fantastic, the story's great, especially using Corypheus. Well, using Corypheus from the Dragon Age 2 DLC, like bringing him forward and making him the major villain.
Yeah.
Which is something that Dragon Age does, like in their DLCs, they kind of foreshadow what the villain's going to be. But then Corypheus is kind of a shit villain through that game, but whatever. The story's really good, and the combat's interesting. It's a bit more dilute, but it's less dilute than... So it finds a nice balance between Origins and 2, and we don't want to overwhelm you with, like, CRPG level of toolbars with skills on it, and not the Dragon Age 2 version of we're going to give you, like, 3 skills, and you can just use them over and over again.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So... I've established that the bar for quote-unquote, like, all-time greatness in this project is 8.8x.
Mm-hmm.
This game got what now?
8.188.
What do you think keeps this game from being great?
Quest design, mainly for me. I play MMOs and stuff like that, and that's fine, but in something that isn't an MMO, I don't want to have to do MMO style mechanics that are just like repeating the same thing over and over again, just in new maps. That kind of kills it for me. I think other than that, I kind of like a lot of the rest of what that game's doing. I think it looks great. I think it's written well. I think the characters are great. I think the crafting stuff's cool. The whole Skyhold thing's really interesting, where you get to like render judgment on people in the world after side quests and stuff.
That was amazingly fun.
Yeah, that's a really good thing they could have done for the side stuff, where you're taking things that you've done and tying it into the world by like giving it some sort of conclusion. It has like one of the best sequences for a series I've ever seen in the Val Royeaux masked ball thing.
Excellent.
Because that's like, they talk throughout the entire first and second games, they talk about Val Royeaux and how it's like, it's all about political games and like everybody's basically trying to backstab everybody else, but you never see it.
Yeah.
But in Inquisition, they go, no, we're going to let you go to one of these Orlesian balls.
Yes.
And it's a fantastic sequence that shows everything that they've talked about in 2 games about Val Royeaux and
that's a good answer, by the way, to the last episode. We had a mailbag question about levels.
Oh, yeah.
We omitted this one, but that is an excellent level.
It's an excellent level. But yeah, I think it's mainly just like outside quest design and not like tying it into the world or what ruined it for me. And the villain, to be honest. I think Corypheus was kind of shit. But I think that's mainly it.
Your quest design was 100% a factor. The biggest single factor was relating to their tech.
Okay.
Ratio of time spent playing versus loading screen was fairly unforgivable.
That's fair.
On a high-end machine, you're still waiting and waiting and waiting. And it's in a vacuum no matter what, but for what it's worth, that's not a problem CD Projekt Red had to deal with. Their loading screens had some story elements, weren't very long, so, DAI gave a lot of incredible experiences, but at some points, the weaknesses, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. Yeah. It does set up for whenever the new Dragon Age. Well, we might hear more about the new Dragon Age in the next coming months when E3 happens, but like setting up Solus as like the next villain.
Yeah, right,
Who's going to be like, and his entire backstory. And so I could talk about this game forever, but his entire like backstory is like so tragic and fantastic, and like ties into the world so perfectly.
Well, hopefully it's they get to take their time and we don't end up with Andromeda.
I hope so, because they don't. Andromeda would be the problem. So I really don't want them to ruin another series, because they already ruined Mass Effect, and I really love Dragon Age, and I don't want them to do it again. That would be so bad.
Hey man, high tide, low tide. It'll come back.
It's next. Popeye from 1983.
Easy segue. Popeye is one of those ancient 1.610.
Yeah.
It's like ancient arcade. That Super Mario Brothers 3 minigame where you go into the level with the little platforms. It's kind of Donkey Kong looking and bounce off and throw shit at each other. It's like that.
Yeah.
There's nothing to it. It's ugly. It's one of those like first run NES games that only made it because it was an arcade port.
That's like super early. Yeah.
It's success. Yeah. This was on the border of like games that are even worth looking at, but it was on NES, and that's my arbitrary line draw.
Every game's worth looking at. You're playing every game.
Well, I mean, like what is a game? You know?
Oh God, let's not have that discussion.
Yeah. There's a lot of shit on like Commodore that's not in a game in any traditional sense.
That's fair.
NES, that's my arbitrary line.
Sure. So next, another interesting discussion, we talk about Persona 4 from 2008.
Okay. Yeah.
8.281 for PS2. This is a game that we both love. Like, I don't want to put words in your mouth or whatever, but I adore Persona 4.
That's good.
Yeah. I played it at a time when all I knew in JRPGs was Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, just heard randomly about, or like, watched people play Persona 4. I was like, this thing looks really interesting, I'm going to play it. And I was completely blown away about how, like, they could do this duality between, like, your high school life and this dungeon crawl, the whole, like, almost Pokemon element of you gathering all these personas that you can use in combat that are all really weird and intermingled, that all have weaknesses that you have to worry about. It was just super deep. But
isn't Atlas just the undisputed king of creating unique games by meshing two giant, disparate gameplay elements together? Because when you said that, I immediately thought of Catherine and how they've taken a puzzle game and mixed it with
a dating sim.
Yeah.
They are. I can understand that. That's a lot of their MO is like when they do their original stuff anyway, but they don't publish. They do take like two kind of disparate genres and slam them together. But Persona's like the one that's most known for that, of this like high school slice of life thing mixed with this JRPG dungeon crawl.
Yeah.
Persona 4 is fantastic. Like, I don't know what you want to say about it, but
it's great. It's one of the great the Persona series in general. I actually played the first one. The first one's pretty rigid.
Like Persona 1,
it's pretty tough.
Difficult to play.
Yeah. But 3 got some underground acclaim. I got into it with 3 as far as the modern ones. And personally, I prefer 3, but I think it's probably likely that 4 is the better game. Because of party flexibility and things like that.
Yeah, I did the inverse order and played 4, and then went back to playing 3 on FES or whatever it was, that version.
Yeah, FES.
And then when you couldn't control your party, I was like, this is worse. Like,
imagine
through it.
Imagine not being able to control anyone but the party leader in a Final Fantasy.
Yeah, like, that's just insane.
I still can't get over 13. Like, where I'm sitting there, like, are you serious?
Yeah, this was a thing that we had problems with from back in the early 2000s, and they still like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
but
I love Persona 4.
Do love Persona 4. It's fantastic. All the characters are great. The story's fantastic. You really endear yourself to the investigation squad. Like, yeah, there are some of them that you end up not liking and like thinking, like, I don't like Yosuke very much. I think he's a dipshit. But it's a group of friends that you really endear yourself to, and you really find yourself like connecting with them.
Persona's great at that. Persona's great at building character synergies that come off as believable in unbelievable
they feel like
scenarios.
High school friends. They feel like your friends that you had in high school.
Yeah,
like you have your dipshit and you have your like hothead girl and the smart, intelligent one, and They
And it
they don't
works.
play to stereotype, but it's almost there. Like it's almost like a
Just enough to relate to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Lots
Yeah,
of symbolism
Persona.
too. I love
Persona's fantastic.
what they do with masks and guns and
Evokers,
TV.
they're not
Yeah,
guns,
like they
they're
do.
Evokers.
Atlas just gets it. They know how to make art. They're not. And
Yeah.
we should comment that now that Yumatsu's out of the game, the music in the Persona series is surpassed.
Shoji Meguro is a god among men for creating the Persona series.
Unbelievable rock oriented.
Yeah,
pop.
and every game in the series has its own like unique twist on it. Like 3 had the focus more on like hip hop and that kind of like urban sound, whereas 4 was a lot more poppy and like upbeat. But then 5 went in a more jazz direction, and yeah, it's good that he has that kind of they all have that same sort of like sound theme. Like they all feel connected, but they have these kind of like disparate influences.
They've got heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That guy, it shows how talented that guy is, that he can swap these genres but still make everything feel cohesive.
Isn't that the ultimate, though? Isn't that why a game like this is so refreshing? Because of that heart factor. Like, games, like, when they copy Ubisoft sandboxes or they copy Brown FP, like, that's what they're missing. That's why The Last of Us was so successful, and Red Dead Redemption was, like, Persona games have so much heart.
And the remake of God of War that just came out has that as well.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Has real heart. Yeah. So next is Jeopardy from 1983, 1.872.
Fuck this game.
Yeah, it's NES, right? This is just an NES.
I think I did the SNES one.
Right. Okay. So SNES version of
Still
TV show
shit.
Jeopardy. Yeah.
You have to type out the answer, so it's just like it's glacial.
Like fully, like type out the answer.
And I feel like it was on a time limit, so it's like you buzz in 60 seconds. And if you're playing multiplayer, you're just sitting there like watching the other person. It's just it doesn't work. It's just like you can't do that on that hardware.
That's shit. That's shit.
And then I said this in the video, but I'll reiterate. I correctly got an answer, and I typed in the numerical 0, and they told me wrong, and the right answer was ZERO. And I was like, nope, done.
God.
Done with this one. Post.
That's a good reason to throw your controller away.
Walked away.
So lastly, we have Vector Man, 1995, 4.545. This is Genesis, right?
It is. It was a big Genesis release.
Because I remember playing this. Yeah, I remember playing this.
This made me sad.
My cousin's Mega Drive. Yeah.
This made me actively sad. I thought this game would be cooler.
I mean, is it not?
He's made of balls.
I remember being pretty cool.
He's a shit character. He's just...
that's fair, yeah.
He's just like this ragdoll gaggle of balls just wiggling around. Like it's...
But his animations are cool, right? Like, does he not have, like, cool... because he's made out of balls, he can, like, flip around all crazy?
Yeah, kind of, but it's like, it's hard to, like, follow. You're just like, what did he just do?
Fair.
Was that a backflip or a front flip? You remember that Balls video game, or the fighting game? Like, I did it for one to ever get Balls 3D or whatever. It's just a fighting game.
Yeah, I seem to remember something like that. Yeah.
It's like, it's a doll, it's that, but he's got makeup on. Like, it's just sort of a better version of that. Like, I don't get this obsession they have with making cheap sphere characters. Like, that's not a character.
It's because they're probably easy to make. Like,
it costs a nickel.
Costs nothing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically, yeah.
And the level design wasn't very exciting. It was really, really metallic. It's
like a side-scrolling shooter, right? It's like Mega Man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But there's like nothing there. Like the enemies all are the same flavor of bland he was. And it's like I'm trying to think of like you think of like Castlevania or a Metroid where these levels sort of crisscross on each other and move, and you get elevators and you unlock new doors, Dark Souls style and stuff. It doesn't have any of that. And it doesn't have like the obstacle stuff good Mega Man games do either. Like it's just, you're just walking on a girder. It's just boring as shit.
That's, I mean, there's not really much else to be said, is it?
Yeah, I was sad. I hope the second one's better because I got
I remember playing Batman when I was a kid and thinking it was cool, which is not a sign of quality.
It had some brightness to it. Like some of the power ups were all like star looking.
Yeah,
yeah, but it's like it's very green and gray and like very little else.
Sure, that's upsetting.
I've ruined
so that's the end of our list for this session. So what are you playing currently?
Okay, you go first. What are you playing?
So I literally last night just finished the new God of War remake.
Congrats.
That game is fucking fantastic. Like, there's no other words for it. That game is fucking stellar, and it ends fantastically. It was less impactful for me because I actually like know some Norse mythology. Like, I know the stories and like the myth. So some of their like big reveals towards the end, I was like, oh, I already knew that. Like, it was because which is good. Like, they're following these tales like quite not super closely, but they're following them to the point where I can recognize it and go like, oh, like you did the thing. Of course you did. But that's great. I'm currently now literally sitting waiting at my computer for Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire to unlock on Steam. I'm watching it like as I'm talking.
That's exciting.
So that'll be the next like 40 to 50 hours of my life when that game gets unlocked.
Awesome. Those are great days. I love it when like a hype new release comes out and you're just salivating.
Yeah. I'm excited. It's gonna unlock in the next couple hours here, and I'm gonna play it. And then I'm gonna go to bed, and I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and just play it all day tomorrow. And I'm super excited for that. So, what are you playing?
I'm playing it all, baby. I'm playing it all. What I used to do is I used to focus on one game. I would play it for 3 or 4 days, finish it, move on to the next thing. Steam has so overwhelmed me with titles since I've gone PC over these last like 5 years that for every game ever, to get the maximum number of games in, I like to be playing one of every type of genre or feel you can imagine. So no matter how I feel when I wake up, I'm excited to play something. So right now that includes XCOM, Enemy Unknown, Far Cry 3.
Sure.
A great, free, 100%, no money game everybody should download. Eternal Senia. It is fantastic. Free game.
Eternal Senia.
Eternal Senia. $0. Get it. Witcher 3, I just don't want to finish. We've established I'm emotionally attached to it to the point I just can't help myself. Bloodborne, I'm knocking out all these Dark Souls games. In fact, I woke up very late last night, stumbled upon a boss I'd never met, killed it, saved the game, and went back to sleep. It was like a surreal, wonderful gaming nightmare. It was wonderful.
Sure.
So, a lot of games, and still the ones from before. I finished Tyranny, Ocarina of Time still in the works, Tales of Berseria, every genre. I'm doing it all.
That's good. I think it's probably better for you to cover a wider range so you don't get burned out.
Oh, yeah. Never.
Yeah.
It's always something out there.
Yeah, it's always more games to play. So that's it for
and Fallout
Volume
3.
4.
Fallout 3.
And Fallout 3. Cool. Volume 4 of the Every Game Ever podcast. Danny, where can people find you?
At Every Game Ever 10 on Twitter, _Scribner on Twitch, and the Scribner on YouTube.
Yeah, you can also just search Every Game Ever Vol and find
the volume you wish.
Yeah, find anything that you should ever want from Every Game Ever. If you want more from me, you can go to GameEngineStart.com, at GameEngineStart on Twitter and on YouTube. If you want more recent game coverage, that's where I'll be. But for now, until next time, it's goodbye from Every Game Ever podcast.
Pillars of Eternity 2. Go get 'em, big dog.